So, thank you for tuning in. Real quick, this is my ABA corner. And first, I want to apologize for the plain background. I'm probably looking a mess, but I had to just say, you know what? I don't care. The important thing for this is the message. I have been wanting to start this YouTube channel for ABA for such a very long time because I've been made aware and I'm seeing things happening in the field. And I was like, I need to really get on here and address it because these kiddos, those that are on the spectrum, they really need us and they need us to be our best selves. So bear with me. What it looks like today may not be what it looks like next week, but sometimes you just got to jump in and get started. So, with that said, my name is Andrea Taylor Price, and I am a behavior analyst. I have been working as an RBT for the past maybe going on 6 years. And I am working towards my BCBA. So I think that puts me in the right position to kind of give a little bit of awareness of just some of the things that are happening on both sides. So the first thing I want to jump into is RBTs. RBTs, big changes are here. So for this year, 2026, moving forward, if you haven't heard, I'm here to let you know that we no longer have to do the like those annual assessments where we got to go through that application and have our BCBA ask us to show them all these things and do all these things that we do all the time. But because we're being watched and kind of feel like we're being tested, we stumble and bumble it. So no more. I know you know your stuff. So now the only thing we need is 12 CEUs, which I think is great because maybe I'm a nerd or a dork, but I love those CEUs, sitting in on some classes, getting educated in some stuff, learning some new things. I mean, that is completely my wheelhouse. I love it. And I hope you guys will love it too over the old requirements. And you need 12 of those. And then your certification will be good for 2 years instead of 1 year, which is really excellent not to be stressed out about this stuff every year. So that's the first thing. Another thing in the realm of RBTs that I would like to touch base on really quick is RBTs. I know our field is rough. It's so hard to find a company, especially if you're doing more in home than you are in clinic, or even just going out to schools, anything other than in clinic. In clinic gives you a little bit more stability, but everything else, not so much, especially depending on the company that you work for. And I can tell you, for being in this field for so long, it is so hard to find a company that just has your back and has you covered, like with that paid time off and mental health days and paid vacation and paid time off and holiday pay and things like that. You have to work full time and full time 30 hours. And it can be hard to get full time 30 hours. It's extremely difficult to get a kiddo during the day, like those early morning hours. Most kiddos are in school and sessions take place in the afternoon. Um, so it can be really difficult. But alas, we must maintain our integrity, RBTs. First, I want to say kudos to those companies that have lowered their full time standard to 20 hours and 25 hours. Thank you so much from one RBT to another on behalf of us RBTs. I would like to say it is greatly appreciated. But RBTs, we must maintain our standards of integrity and ethics. If you pursue your BCBA, ethics is a big deal. Being ethical is a big deal. You cannot, RBT, BCBA, otherwise, you cannot, I repeat, you cannot bill for hours that you have not worked. You cannot bill for hours and tell your BCBA and tell your company that you were at the home. I was here, I'm there, I'm doing it. And you're not, and you haven't. The horror stories that have been coming across my airways and my desk that I have heard recently makes me cringe, because do not do this work if you don't have a heart and a love for the kiddos. I promise you, the work will weed you out. And that is not opinion based, that is experience based. I have had moments where it was just all about the money. I got burned out, I got frustrated, and I left. And how I knew that it actually was about more than the money for me is while I was gone, my heart was breaking. It just seemed like people were coming in my path. They had children on the spectrum, and they told me about waiting lists, and they couldn't get services, and they were waiting and they were waiting. And I began to feel part of the problem instead of part of the solution. And it brought me back into the field with the right intention. So I just want to say, RBTs, please, please, please. And what will happen if you continue to do this is you're going to make it hard for everyone. The board is going to get more strict. The BACB is going to crack down. And you are going to cause good people that really love this work, that just want to do the job and help a child, you're going to make it unbearable for us, because the guidelines and the restrictions are going to get so much more tight. And they're already, don't get me started, but it's not the greatest as it is. So please, 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 um, don't be moved by the hourly rate, but be moved by the compassion, knowing that a child needs you and count on you. Your showing up matters. I get once in a while, and understand, once in a while. But stay tuned. Come back here. Hold me accountable to these videos, because life gets in the way. But this is so important. I want to get this message out there. I will help you to think about your finance, or build financial strategies when you're doing work as a RBT. No matter what you make, you must set aside something for those days when you just need that mental break. Those days when the unexpected happens and you can't show up. But please, 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 let's not build unethical habits of billing and not actually providing services. So for right now, because I don't want this to be a long first video, and I really want you guys to keep tuning in, I'm doing my reading and researching so that I can bring you guys the latest happenings of what's going on in the field, how to get those CEUs, any changes and updates, and just to be a place to vent, and anyone that would be interested in giving so that we can build our toys for materials. That is something we will also talk about in a later video. Unfortunately, more often than not, you really have to invest your own resources in this field so that you're getting the most out of your sessions. And I will go into more of that in later videos. But for right now, thank you for joining me on this first one. Super nervous. I probably talked really fast, but I promise I'll get better in the future. This is so outside my comfort zone, putting myself out here, but I'm a introverted Scorpio to the core. But this is how much I love and care about this field, and I want to get the most out of it. I want to see the best go into it. So thank you so much on this first video, and I will see you guys at a later day. I'm going to try to do these videos at least once a week. And I will have more information for you guys. Please feel free to ask any questions in the comments, and do the best that you can. And, let's just keep going in this crazy, crazy world. So have a blessed one. Bye-bye.